Hey everyone, and welcome to the video about database relations. Um, so, um, database. So the way that tables are related to each other is by using primary key and foreign keys. Um, Now, what you can do with these sorts of tables, with all these related tables, is you can join them together to include different data from different tables that relate to each other and put them on one row. That way you can get a lot more specific data, rather than querying each specific table separately. Um, now, some relationship types between these tables. It can be one to one, which is the least popular. It can be one to many, or it can be many to many. One to one relationships specifically say um, that one specific row in a table belongs to one specific row in another table, and they can't belong to anything else. Whereas one to many, which is usually the most popular, it says that one one table can have many rows within another table. So, for instance, I think I have an example of this on the next slide, but think of this as like you have a list, a table called orders, and you have a table called users. Well, one user can have multiple orders that they place, right? But it's one user, so that's kind of like a one to many type of relationship. And then many to many. Think about this as two different tables. That, let's say we have the people table, and then we have a books table. Now, a person can read many books, and other people can also read the same books. So this is a many to many relationship, and I'll go through this in a little more detail in the next few slides. Draw.io. So if you go to your browser and you type draw.io, it'll take you to this website, and it's a great tool for like drawing database diagrams and just to better understand table relationships. And Workbench, MySQL Workbench is also great. And a cool thing about it is that it lets you generate database diagrams for your current database. It's a very similar tool to PHPMyAdmin, but it's a little more powerful. It's also less user-friendly though. But yeah, I would recommend Workbench. You can use PHPMyAdmin. That's fine too. If you're not familiar with a lot of database stuff, probably PHPMyAdmin is going to be the easiest one of all. So let's continue. So yeah, here we go. So database relations, it's generally a good idea to drop an initial schema of your database using the Draw.io tool, just to get a better understanding of like what it is that you're trying to do. So when you're first writing your application, this is actually very useful. After you've written your application, you're going to probably want to generate the database diagrams using tools like Workbench, because drawing them by hand like this is too intense. Let's go into like what these mean. So back to the one-to-one relationship. Here in this red box, you'll see an example of that. So let's say a user signs up for your website. They can only have one address. Specifically for my website, they can only have one address associated to them. This is a one-to-one relationship. Only one address can belong to one user. Now, another user can sign up that has the same address, but that will create another row within the table. So there can be two rows with the same address, but they have two different IDs. One ID, one row belongs to one user, and the other row belongs to the other user. So that's that one-to-one relationship. And then in the blue box is one-to-many. So here you can see that there's only one user, right? But that one user can have multiple orders associated to him. So whenever an order is created, that order has to be associated to a user, and thus there can be multiple orders with the same user. So let's go to the next slide. So now I'm going to describe many-to-many. So this is kind of the same example that I talked about earlier. You have people and you have books, right? You have a list of people. You have a table of people. That table has the people's last name, first name, and their last name. And then you have a table called books, which has the title of the book, it has the author of the book, and the ISBN number. And all these, by the way, have the primary key of ID in them. And then you have this books read table. So what this books read table is called, it's called like a linking table or a bridge table. And what this does is it says that one person can have, let's say, books. Let's say that a book title was that there was a book titled A, another book titled B, another book titled C. One person can have books A, B, and C, right? And another person can also have books A, B, and C. And then another person can have just a book called with the title of A. So that's how this many-to-many relationship works. And let me just open up Excel here real quick and just show you guys kind of an example through Excel. So here we'll have our people table. Here we will have our books read table. And here we will have our books table. Let's say for people, first name is Gastone. And last name is Bessa. Oh, okay, actually, ID first, last. So the first row is the table name. Second row is a column names. ID, person, ID, and then book ID. And then for books, it'll be ID, title, author, and then ISBN. Now, let's say we have, ID is 1, Gastone, Bessa. ID is 2, Joe Smith. ID is 3, Jane Doe. Right? So now we have 3 people. Let's do some books. A, author and ISBN number don't matter. For this example, B and 3. So this is the title of the books, obviously. Author doesn't matter. ISBN. Okay, so now the way that we create a many-to-many relationship here is, let's say that we person 1, right? So person 1 has, let's say that they have all 3 books. So they have books A, B, and C. So we got to reference the book ID here. So we got to reference these. So now we create a new row. So 2 right here for a new row. This ID is always auto-incrementing. Remember that. So like we can just pre-fill this already. Like, that doesn't matter. We already know what this is going to be. Person 1, again, right here, this is referencing to me, is going to have the book 2, ID 2. And then it's also going to have ID 3. So here you can see that I can be here multiple times. I am here many times. Person 1 is on here many times. Now let's do person 2. So that's where that many comes in for the people. Now let's do person 2. Person 2 can have the same books as person 1. Right? And then person 3, let's just say that person 3, Jane Doe, has just books 1 and then book 3. So Jane Doe has books A and books C because of this. So here you can see that I can appear here multiple times. User 2, Joe Smith, can appear here multiple times. User 3, Jane, can appear here multiple times. The books, you can see, can appear multiple times. You can see here that book ID 1, so book with the title of A, appears here, here, and here. Like all the users here have book A, title A. So that's the one many-to-many relationship. So anyway, I hope that helped kind of understand all these types of relationships. And if this video helped you, hit the like button and subscribe to be notified whenever a new video comes out. So thanks. Have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video.